A terrifying encounter in Kananaskis country.
Enough! Hey, no!
What you need to know after several fresh warnings and closures are issued by Alberta Parks.
This bear was clearly intent and interested in the dog.
Plus, the city welcomes nearly 36 new transit officers.
We want to reassure everyone transit is a safe transportation alternative.
Is it enough to help put commuters at ease? And a portion of Country Thunder is revived.
In our business, we're about the art of the possible and the business of yes, so here we are.
A last-minute plan to push the boots aside and host a concert inside this famous factory instead.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. For the first time, Calgary police have laid a manslaughter charge in relation to an overdose death. Alicia Fieldberg joins us from the newsroom tonight. And Alicia, the victim is a minor and she died last year.
Tara, the man was arrested yesterday, but 16-year-old Jordan Atkins-Materi died of a carfentanil overdose in November. Her obituary says she had a kind heart and loved writing, painting, and babies. Investigators say she and another 16-year-old girl met with an acquaintance, a man in his 40s, on November 27th, then went back to his place in the 8300 block of Centre Street Northeast. The police believe the group did drugs. The next morning, the man noticed one of the girls was unconscious and called 911. Emergency responders could not revive her. 40-year-old Steve Philip Gilbert Collins now faces one count of manslaughter in relation to this death. He is scheduled to appear in court on July 6th. Today is International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, a reminder of the ongoing impact of drugs in our communities. And police hope this charge sends a message.
You know, some awareness that if you're gonna go down this dangerous road and you're not taking the welfare of other people into account, that there could be consequences and the police are going to try and hold you responsible. It's one of those situations where I don't think there's any happiness to it, but maybe some relief that charges were laid at the end of the day.
Other Canadians have been charged and convicted of manslaughter in overdose deaths, but this is the first time Calgary police have laid this type of charge. Now, last year, CPS formally started a Drug Investigations for Safer Communities, or DISC team. It targets drug traffickers responsible for selling substances causing overdose deaths. Tara.
Okay, Alicia, thank you. A pedestrian suffered life-threatening injuries after being hit by a commercial truck this afternoon. It happened in Bridgeland, and police closed 9th Street near Centre Street while they investigated. We have new details today about the woman who died after getting shot by police on Deerfoot Trail. Alberta's police watchdog says police used pepper spray and a taser before an officer fired their gun. ACERT says on Sunday, following reports of a person driving erratically, officers boxed in an SUV on Deerfoot Trail near Memorial Drive. Police say the woman driving had a knife and would not get out of the vehicle. About 20 minutes later, officers broke a window on the SUV and deployed pepper spray. Police say when the woman exited the vehicle, she moved toward officers. That's when a taser was used and an officer fired their gun. The woman was taken to hospital where she later died. ACERT says the sequence of events remains under investigation. A woman had a frightening bear encounter in Kananaskis recently when she and her dog were charged. The two made it out of the incident unharmed, but it was a close call and she didn't have bear spray. Tyler Barrow has more.
No. Go away.
It wasn't the walk in the park Jessie Oakes set out for with her Dutch Shepherd named Skokie.
Enough! Hey.
The Grizzly charging toward the two. The leash dog watches even as the bear walks on two legs. The incident happened near Mount Engadine Lodge Wednesday around 6 a.m. Oakes did try to distract the bear, throwing her coffee mug to the side.
Go away!
Oakes previously encountered the bear with no issue, but this situation was intense. She said, quote, "I am not losing my dog today. I am not letting him murder my dog."
What I can tell, this bear was perceiving that dog possibly as a food source.
Oakes and Skokie were able to get away, which Titchener says was handled well.
Glad that she had her dog on the leash and that she was trying to let that bear know, hey, get away from me.
Alberta Parks is aware of the encounter. It has put out a bear warning around Mount Engadine Lodge and the area due to this incident. The expert we spoke with says this is another reason for people to be bear aware.
Be really loud and aggressive, trying to get them to leave instead, and use my bear spray if they get within the range. Would have preferred if she had stood her ground and tried to get the bear to leave instead and not had her cell phone out trying to video at the same time as trying to deal with an extremely dangerous situation.
Oakes wants others to learn from what happened. She didn't have bear spray, saying, "There's no excuse for that, even if I was within a minute walk from my residence." In the end, she and Skokie couldn't get back home, instead finding safety in a nearby glamping tent. The bear walked off into the woods. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
And the bear expert we spoke with says incidents like this are a reminder that regular campers and backcountry users should consider taking a bear safety course. All right, well, Gina is in today. No rain so far for us, Gina, but it's certainly coming this weekend.
Yes, that is pretty certain at this point when we look at the models. Even outside right now, very overcast conditions and definitely seeing clouds around the Calgary area. They're already starting to produce a little bit of that rainfall. We're at 21 currently, managed to get to a high of 22 today. Lots of watches and warnings in effect throughout Alberta as that system starts to move in. So we're under a yellow level severe thunderstorm watch currently, and that will probably lift over the next couple of hours here. But seeing some scattered precipitation around the Calgary region right now, seeing showers if you're in Lethbridge. Tonight we'll see the showers dissipate and that thunderstorm risk likely lift at around 11 o'clock tonight, but that risk returns by tomorrow morning, Tara, when we get to a high of 20 in the afternoon.
Okay, thank you, Gina. A Calgary company has stepped up to host some live music this weekend after the sudden cancellation of Country Thunder. The Alberta Boot Company was a title sponsor of that event and now will host 3 of the artists in its downtown factory. It's been billed Save Saturday, and this might just do it for some of those heartbroken country music fans. Here's Kevin Fleming.
The Alberta Boot Company's production line is operating at full speed Friday evening, but come Saturday, this space is turning into a concert venue called Save Saturday. Jay Taylor is the head of Alberta Boot. He wanted to salvage some of the live performance for music fans and the artists that they'll miss with the cancellation of this weekend's Country Thunder Music Festival.
We worked with our marketing team who sort of knocked it out of the park trying to figure out a solution. So we're going to put a stage in our factory, open up the doors to our retail floor, clean out the space, have as many people in as we can, and enjoy the evening. And it's going to be a fun few hours, I think.
The Country Music Festival was canceled when organizers said the City of Calgary created safety and operational barriers. The city disputes those claims. Regardless, Alberta Boot Company will host 140 people in a very intimate setting. The bands are eager to play to a live audience.
If you can get here, come on down. We'd love to have you. It's all free. And if you bought a Country Thunder ticket, we're going to find a way to show you some love on the other side to make up for the fact that the show didn't go. So come on down and have some fun.
Jaden Riley was one of those local artists looking forward to playing at Country Thunder. Now she and her band, the Crybabies, are looking forward to playing at Alberta Boot.
I've seen the space. I think it's going to be amazing. I think the intimacy of it, especially at a time we're all coming together now as a community to still, let the music live on. I think people will be more than happy to be shoulder to shoulder, dancing and having a good time in there.
Riley was overwhelmed with support from fans and friends after the weekend event was canceled at Confluence Park.
I received so many messages from friends and family, even just fans that were heartbroken for me, folks that were supposed to play as well that reached out to me to say, I know how much you wanted this, I'm so sorry. So yeah, I felt a lot of love for sure.
Taylor says this is the biggest event hosted at the factory and says if it's a success, it could become an annual event.
And Kevin joins us from Alberta Boot Company tonight. This is a fun turn of events, Kevin. So who exactly is going to be performing there?
Tara, Chevy Blue and Josh Dillon will be joining Jaden Riley and the Crybabies. And Jaden says that she and the other bands will likely be playing the same sets that they arranged for Country Thunder. Now, as far as noise goes here, the head of Alberta Boot says that won't be a worry because he can just close the doors. Tara?
Okay, Kevin, thank you.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The first round of the 2026 NHL draft is taking place tonight, and the Calgary Flames had 6th pick.
From the Prince George Cougars, Carson Carols. Yes!
Carson Carrolls, the 18-year-old defenseman from Cypress River, Manitoba, had 73 points in 58 games last season with the Prince George Cougars. Previously, the Flames picked Matthew Tkachuk and Sean Monahan with the 6th overall picks. The Toronto Maple Leafs selected 1st overall, and singer Justin Bieber was on hand to announce the pick. Former Medicine Hat Tiger Gavin McKenna from Whitehorse is the first Indigenous player to be taken 1st overall since 1977. Canada's soccer team will face South Africa on Sunday in the first World Cup knockout match in the history of our men's program. And in Vancouver today, the Canadians practiced for the final time on home soil before departing for Los Angeles. Canada's head coach has said the practices leading up to Sunday afternoon's match will focus on rest, recovery and re-energizing. The Canadians will be traveling to LA after finishing 2nd in their group. Top spot would have kept them in Vancouver. South Africa has never advanced past the group stage, nor has Canada in 3 World Cup appearances. And the Canadian players are pretty excited for this historic moment.
The goal was to make it out of the group, and we've never done that before. So I think we all are super proud about that. And now it's about taking each game one at a time and going out there and seeing what we can do in this tournament. I think we can do special things, and it all starts with this next match.
I think for us, it's just being weary of them even when we have the ball, because, you know, you see that game against Korea, most of their opportunities come when they were on the counter, when they were able to win the ball high and attack Korea. So I think for us, it's being mindful of where each of their players are when we have the ball and being ready to react when we lose it.
A victory would send the Canadians to a round of 16 match in Houston against the winner of Monday's Netherlands-Morocco game. Canada has already guaranteed itself $11 million in FIFA World Cup prize money and would increase its performance payout to $15 million with a win on Sunday. Sunday's game against South Africa begins at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. You can watch it right here on CTV or on TSN and Crave. A Formula One racer and fan favorite made an unexpected pit stop at Emerald Lake Lodge last month. On May 26th, Lewis Hamilton took his mom on a paddle around the popular lake in Yoho National Park. Staff tell us he was actually looking for help because of car trouble when he dropped in at Emerald Lake. Along with renting a canoe, the lodge says he ordered some snacks to go. Lewis managed to squeeze in the mini vacation last month following the Formula One race in Montreal, where he placed 2nd. A move to tackle public safety concerns is next. 36 new transit officers graduated today, so does that go far enough for commuters? And Mark Carney's competition to reinvent 24 Sussex. What will it cost to restore the national landmark? 3 people are facing multiple charges after police say a series of copper wire thefts targeted farm and oil and gas infrastructure across southern Alberta. Investigators say copper wire was stolen from irrigation and industrial sites last month in Lethbridge County, the MD of Taber, and Newell County. The case escalated on May 29th when officers confronted suspects in the act near Vauxhall. Police say 3 people took off in 2 vehicles. 1 got stuck in a potato field. A 2nd vehicle was stopped using a tire deflation device. The 3 are also linked to additional thefts, including damage to irrigation infrastructure, estimated at more than $96,000, with officials warning it could impact crop yields and cause significant losses for farmers. Calgary Transit is hoping to improve public safety with the addition of close to 36 new members to its peace officer team. The city now has more than 200 transit officers, but some residents are skeptical this will do enough to address increasing safety concerns. Tommy Osborne reports.
34 new transit peace officers are suiting up, hoping to improve transit safety.
This is their day, and I want them to remember it because they're committed to serve. And I hope that, today leads to a 20-year future with the city. We have a district deployment model, and with the addition of 34 more officers, it will allow us to respond to calls in an orderly fashion.
These new recruits join a unit that is 212 members strong, as the Calgary Stampede is only days away, where transit will extend its hours.
We know one of the key ways that people get to these events is the train. So we're going to have extra officers out there. We're going to be focusing on all the key areas.
However, some Calgarians aren't convinced this will properly address ongoing safety concerns. Sandra Steffens suffered a brutal attack on the Crowfoot Transit platform in mid-May that left her seriously bruised with a concussion and broken ribs.
200 officers? I don't know. I mean, it's a step in the right direction, but It's not enough. I've been to Crowfoot at Friday night. There's nothing. There's nothing.
Steffens says she still can't work 6 weeks after the attack, and it's impacted her family too.
And it's really scary for my daughter, who's like going to a movie at cinema in Crowfoot, and there's no security.
Transit says it's working to address concerns.
We can always do better. And having 30 former officers join our team today, we're doing the right things. We're going to be out there on the lines. We want to reassure everyone transit is a safe transportation alternative.
Tommy Osborne, CTV News, Calgary.
Calgary Transit encourages anyone to text its helpline at 74100 or call 911 for any transit-related incidents.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
All right, let's bring Gina back in now for our 5-day forecast. So just how much rain are we expecting over this weekend?
Here's the thing. It's even hard to forecast that because the system is just so massive. Just the slightest change in its movement could change the levels in a good way or a bad way. But it is going to be substantial in the central part of the province. We do know that there are some yellow level and orange level rainfall warnings in place for the capital region right now, in some areas just to the southeast of it. For us, we're dealing with the thunderstorms currently, and winds have been variable throughout the day. A little gusty last hour right now at around 19 kilometers an hour from the south, but those winds are going to pick up with that rain potential as we progress throughout the weekend. We have 21 degrees right now in the city, 18 in Lethbridge, which is dealing with some rain this hour, 20 in Brooks, 24 in Medicine Hat, the capital area, 23 in Edmonton, 21 in Red Deer, and a little cooler closer to the foothills, which again is being impacted by this incoming low pressure system. There's actually a lot going on with this weather pattern moving in. It's a very unique setup, not going to impact temperatures much for tomorrow in Calgary with a high of 20 in store, so within that seasonal range, but already Edmonton dropping down to 17 for the high tomorrow. Again, they're dealing with those warnings for rainfall currently while we're dealing with a severe thunderstorm yellow level watch. Looks like actually this has just updated and Calgary's out of this. It's just regions to the north of us along the QE2 there, still under that yellow level watch. But here's a look at the radar satellite showing the rain moving in. This is wave one of many. Tomorrow we're going to see a good amount of rain as well. And our next 24 hours even shows we could see some overnight showers here in Calgary before it tapers off at around 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, then picks back up in the afternoon. Banff on and off showers throughout the day. Lethbridge right now you're seeing that rain, and then it tapers off before again it picks up on Saturday afternoon. We're going to see those showers intensify over the next couple of days here, with Sunday shaping up to be the most significant for southern Alberta when it comes to rainfall potential, and then some instability on Monday as well. Saturday should start off okay, and then we'll see those clouds move in in the afternoon, bringing showers and that thunderstorm risk. But it's going to be Sunday. If you have those outdoor plans, they're going to be impacted, and we'll break that down more in your next upcoming weather hit. But this is a look at your Action Furnace 5-day forecast, where we see temperatures drop by Sunday as well to a high of just 15 degrees. Tara.
Thank you, Gina. An association representing hundreds of Alberta construction companies is urging Fort McMurray to leave Highway 63 maintenance to the province. The municipality feels it can do a better job of maintaining the only highway in and out of town, but the association argues that's letting the province off the hook for one of its financial responsibilities. Matt Woodman reports.
People can see that the highways are deteriorating. They sure can.
Ron Glenn runs the Alberta Road Builders and Heavy Construction Association. He says he wasn't surprised when dozens of volunteers in Fort McMurray started patching potholes on Highway 63 themselves.
It's kind of sad. I mean, it's a bad look for Alberta.
Since last year, the municipality of Wood Buffalo has been in talks with the province to take over maintenance of Highway 63. 4 days after the volunteer group was out repairing the road, Glenn wrote a letter to the municipality urging it to leave highway maintenance to the province.
We understand that the municipality is very close to the people and they're feeling the brunt of all the complaints. But as we wrote to them, be careful of what you're taking on here.
In a statement, Wood Buffalo's mayor says Highway 63 needs to improve as soon as possible. Sandy Bowman believes one way to make things better is for the municipality to oversee spring and summer maintenance of an 18-kilometer stretch of the highway that runs through Fort Mac. That way, the municipality can immediately discuss it with the people doing the work instead of calling the province for help.
You may want to do well by your constituents, but what we ask them is to join us in advocating for a real increase to the highway budget.
Glenn says provincial data shows the number of highways in poor condition has been increasing, and based on inflation, highway maintenance budgets have been stagnant or dropping since 2010. We asked Alberta's transportation minister if the province could increase that budget this year.
We'll go into the budget process in the new year with an adequate budget ask to make sure that we can maintain the services that Albertans need.
Rishan says his ministry has been working to prioritize the repair work on Highway 63, and the contractor has been making pothole repairs since April 1st. Matt Woodman, CTV News, Edmonton.
Prime Minister Mark Carney is launching a national design and build competition to modernize 24 Sussex Drive, nearly 11 years after the last Prime Minister called it home. Carney says the goal is to build an accessible and sustainable official residence. Here's CTV's Abigail Beeman with more on the state of this historic address.
This home is just 1 year younger than Canada. The Prime Minister describes it now as barely held together.
A rare look inside the official residence of the Prime Minister that ended up full of dead rodents, asbestos and mold.
We will not let it crumble. We will set it right.
The Prime Minister announced a competition for Canadian firms to present design and construction plans, with famous Canadian architect Moshe Safdie chairing a jury to assess them.
It's an extraordinary site with extraordinary potential. I think something wonderful can be developed here.
The government believes the cost will be under $50 million and will fundraise most or all of that, promising rules to avoid conflicts.
Individuals and philanthropic organizations, no corporate donations. The list of donors will be public. There will be a limit.
Former occupants Jean Chrétien and Stephen Harper will offer advice. In a statement, Harper told CTV News he's pleased the decision was taken to preserve the property.
Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, who, when they were renegotiating the Constitution to patriate it in 1982, he was in Sussex Drive when Jean Chrétien was making the phone calls back to him to say, is this the deal we want?
Author J.D.M. Stewart says the building is critical to Canadian history.
It is a place where all of our prime ministers since 1951 have made a lot of the decisions and done a lot of the work and greeted heads of government and heads of state from around the world.
When I see the homelessness on our streets and I see the young people who are desperate to start families but can't get a house to do it, I just think the last thing on our minds should be 24 Sussex Drive.
The winning design will be announced on Canada Day next year, 2027. No word on how soon a future Prime Minister could move in. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
The Stampede is just around the corner, and all those tourists will generate some much-needed spending for Calgary businesses. We'll take a look. And an Airdrie woman is fighting cancer and struggling to pay for drugs that are not covered by her health plan. Stay with us for that. Cancer touches many lives, from those who are dealing with the disease to their loved ones. Moses Woldu introduces us to an Airdrie woman who's struggling with a rare form of cancer, and the support circle trying to help her pay for a life-saving treatment.
For Emily Winslow, a day at the salon is a luxury, but also tiring. A symptom of the ongoing chemotherapy treatments the 36-year-old had to endure for the last 3 years.
I was given an injection to put me in medical menopause to hopefully shrink the fibroids.
Problem was, it wasn't fibroids, but an aggressive stage 4 cancer that affects roughly 6 in every 1 million women.
They found out it was this super rare leiomyosarcoma that usually only happens to women in their 60s.
Regular chemotherapy didn't work. The cancer spread to her lungs. A newer drug, trabectedin, also known as Yondelis, was recently approved in Canada in 2025, giving her hope, but at a cost.
It's up to $10,000 per round.
$60,000 in total for 6 treatments, to be specific, and it's not covered provincially. A statement from Alberta's Primary and Preventative Health Services says, in part, trabectedin is not covered by public drug plans in Canada. Alberta will review it as quickly as possible to determine coverage. Meantime, Winslow's sister started a GoFundMe, which helped cover the first 2 appointments.
Originally, my plan was to sell my vehicle and take out some loans.
And I said, I hate that. I hate that.
To help, Hairbender Salon is also hosting a cut-a-thon this Sunday.
I've been met with a lot of people in the community, whether that's in Airdrie or Calgary or surrounding areas. They want to show up. They want to help.
Winslow is taking time off work and her duties as a cheer coach. But members of Cheer Sport Sharks Calgary are hoping to show up as well, like the many times she's shown up for them.
We have to be so strong for her because she's always been strong for us, and you would have no idea what she's going through because she always has the biggest smile on her face and she's always just the happiest person.
Winslow is grateful for the support.
Cancer sucks, but having incredible people in your life just makes it suck a little bit less.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
So the haircut-a-thon will take place Sunday, June 28th at Hairbender Salon in Airdrie from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. A new study is linking long-term use of GLP-1 drugs for diabetes to an increased risk of sensory impairments. Researchers at Hebrew University looked at health records of nearly 900,000 patients with type 2 diabetes. Half of them were using GLP-1 drugs like Ozempic or Wegovy. Over a 2-year span, patients using those drugs had an 81% higher risk of developing smell disturbances than those using other drugs to treat their condition. The risk of taste disturbances was increased by 52%. Well, it's pretty rare that you would find yourself in the midst of a police chase, but it picked up an officer and drove him close enough for a takedown. A famous dinosaur that welcomes visitors to Drumheller could have a new home in central Alberta. Discovery Wildlife Park in Innisfail wants to move Tyra, the T-Rex. Tyra has been a local attraction in Drumheller for years. The Chamber of Commerce was considering shutting it down over maintenance costs. Public outcry prompted a structural assessment, which found Tyra was safe for visitors through 2029. Discovery Wildlife Park says after the lease expires, it would like to move Tyra to Innisfail, where she can join that park's growing life-size dinosaur collection.
So it's, and the more you look at this, you look at the more possibilities there are for this rather than impossibilities. And the more I study it and the more I think about it, the more I think it gets easier and easier.
Well, the Chamber of Commerce says it's entertaining the wildlife park's offer. It hopes to reach an agreement with the town to keep Tyra in Drumheller beyond 2029.
Our hope is that it will remain still for visitors to enjoy. Drumheller has an interest in keeping it, so it definitely would be ideal to see it continue to live here in Drumheller, a longer term life beyond 2029.
About 150,000 people visit Tyra each year. You can climb the steps to her mouth, which then serves up a bird's eye view of the Badlands. The world's most famous dinosaur has arrived in Calgary for a visit. Sue is on display at Tell Us Spark. It's the most complete and best preserved Tyrannosaurus Rex ever found. Sue was discovered in 1990 in South Dakota, and scientists are still making discoveries. The updated skeleton includes belly ribs that make Sue look bigger and more powerful. Tell Us Spark hopes Sue will ignite the imaginations of everyone who comes to see her.
We exist to inspire love and curiosity of science and the science that's in the world around everyone. And so the ability to have a changing exhibit on a regular basis is an important way for Tell Us Spark to remain relevant, to remain connected, and to create a reason for people to come back over and over again.
Sue will be on display at Tell Us Spark all summer. Okay, well, here's something else to see, Gina. A crowd gathered in northwest Calgary Thursday afternoon to see some unexpected visitors. Two moose were ambling along Ambleton Drive, munching trees, really just minding their own business. People in the area say the animals didn't seem to mind the neighbors all stopping to stare and capture videos of the unexpected urban wildlife.
Oh my.
To see it in person, it was actually it was so surprising. They were calm, but
it caused a lot of traffic on our road. Like, you know, a lot of cars were stopping by just to take pictures.
I look up and it was 2 mooses, so I put down my phone. I was just in awe the first couple of seconds. I had walked outside my car, and then they turned and looked at me. I walked right back into my car. I didn't really want any smoke, so.
Experts say that is exactly the right thing to do. If you see moose in the city, keep your distance. Try not to scare. Then report the sighting to conservation officers, which people in this community also did.
Well, they look so calm.
They look so calm, exactly. Yeah, they're like, hey, what up?
Yeah, we're here. Deal with it.
Well, between Canada Day and the Stampede, there's going to be multiple nights of fireworks ahead. And I can attest as a dog owner, not all dogs love fireworks. I don't know who these dogs are. Look at these guys. Wow, this is a doggy daycare in Los Angeles where they're doing fireworks conditioning drills ahead of July 4th. This is so smart.
Yeah.
Whatever training they're doing, it's working. Nobody here looks too stressed about things.
Seriously,
wow.
That's smart.
That is a good idea.
Oh, they're cute too.
I know, just get them used to it. It's so stressful for them. A police officer chasing a suspect on foot got a bit of a leg up when a driver pulled over and then gave him a lift in his van, and it was all caught on body cam.
Get back, get back. Go, go, go. Jeez, buddy, follow that police officer.
After reports of an assault, police in Kent, England located a suspect who fled on foot, so that's what prompted the chase. The situation took a turn when the driver of this van was passing by and he picked up this winded officer, helped him speed down the road. The cop told him where to go, allowed him to catch up. They headed the suspect off at the pass and it resulted in an arrest. The officer then came back to say, hey, thanks for the lift. That really helped.
That's wild. That's something out of a movie.
Isn't it though? Yeah. Armed. He just hopped in. Get me over there as fast as you can.
You got the right to speed in that situation.
Exactly. Well, still to come, a new tariff threat from the U.S. president. We have details about talk of implementing a tax on countries that target American tech companies.
Welcome back. We're looking outside right now through our Skywatch weather camera, showing a bit of Deerfoot, and some clouds overhead have really started to thicken up throughout the day. And we're going to see showers move in as early as tonight. We're at 21 degrees right now, got to a high of 22 today, right where we should be for this time in June. But again, a change is in store for us. We could see some thunderstorms tonight when we look at your 24-hour forecast, brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. We don't cool off too much overnight because of the clouds, so 13 for your low, and then up to 20 tomorrow afternoon. But the winds are going to intensify, and so is that instability. We've got a lot going on when it comes to watches and warnings. We're dealing just to the north of us, of Calgary, some yellow warning severe thunderstorms right now, and then we got rainfall warnings in both yellow and orange levels, and you also saw heat in there. That's because this system that's moving in, it's really interesting and rare. It's called a Rex block. It has nothing to do with the T-Rexes we talked about earlier, but it's because we're seeing a low pressure system to the south and then a high pressure system directly north of it. That's locking these two systems in place. The last time we saw a significant Rex block pattern like this in Alberta was back in 2013 when those floods happened. Now, this is going to bring a lot of rain to parts of Alberta, so we could see some localized flooding in areas and overland flooding over the next several days. Precipitation forecast shows a little bit of rain over Saturday, picking up on Sunday, and then really intensifying as we get into Monday. Up to 30 millimeters right now. These models do change, though, so we'll keep an eye on it, as you should too. In the next 10 days here, we see temperatures regulate back to seasonal by Monday.
Thank you, Gina. A woman had a close encounter with a bear in K Country and lived to tell the story. It happened Wednesday when Jessie Oakes was walking her dog. A bear charged, but Jessie and Skokie did get away safely. A 16-year-old Calgary teen died of a drug overdose, and for the first time ever, Calgary police charged a man with manslaughter linked to her death. And Calgary police now say a man who was hit by a truck in Bridgeland today was struck while trying to run away with a bag that he stole from someone sitting on a park bench. The man suffered life-threatening injuries. Police want to hear from any witnesses. Dozens of people rallied at a seniors' care home this morning in favor of better wages and working conditions.
They're not asking for the moon. What they're asking for is to be paid accordingly. This is Capital Care and Care West are the last bastions of public health care when it comes to seniors care in this province. and yet they're being treated differently from those people that work in Alberta Health Services and Capital Care.
Workers at Care West are asking for wages to be brought up to the level of workers at Capital Care and Alberta Health Services. The Alberta Union of Public Employees says it's not fair to have different wages for doing the same work. The union says it will continue to support workers until an agreement can be worked out. The Stampede is less than a week away, and for some businesses, it could not come at a better time. Many are hoping an influx of visitors will deliver a much-needed boost. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee on why this year's event could bring even more tourism dollars to the city.
For this chef and restaurant owner, the Calgary Stampede is a crucial time of year, and the countdown is on.
The impact is significant. It really helps a small business operator like us. We have geared up towards this. We have staffed up towards that.
Ashish Damley recently opened Walk & Co., but he also owns other restaurants and knows firsthand what the 10-day event can mean for business.
We do see 40 to 60% increase in weekly revenue, at least for those 15 days, and then up to 30 to 50% for the rest of the month of July.
Finished renovating this unit.
The ripple effect doesn't stop at restaurants. Airbnb host Robbie Kunkun is also hoping to be fully booked.
July is always our busiest month of the year. Always gives them the highest numbers. A lot of people are relying on this income to bank it for the summer to help them get through the winter.
This economist says staycations and even some World Cup visitors could be driving the increase.
Anybody who's in Vancouver and has a little bit of leftover time is going to say, hey, let me check out the Calgary Stampede. I've heard a lot about this. Whole bunch of people in Vancouver are going to say, get me out of town. Where can I go right now? Hey, Calgary Stampede's going on. Let me go check it out.
For business owners facing higher costs and tighter margins,
it is challenging. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. Costs are really up.
Those extra customers are even more important this year. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
The U.S. president is threatening 100% tariffs on countries that impose taxes on major U.S. digital firms. B&M Bloomberg's Christine Lee has more.
U.S. President Donald Trump warning he will immediately slap a 100% tariff on all goods from any country that implements a digital services tax on American technology companies. Writing on Truth Social that these tariffs will supersede any existing trade agreements, the ultimatum primarily targets European nations, which have been discussing these levies. Earlier this year, Canada repealed its digital services tax to avoid an economic war. Here are the closing numbers for the day. West Texas Intermediate is down $3.42. Western Canadian Select increased $1.69 to $57.46. And the TSX ended the day in the green, up about 130 points to close the day at 34,980 points. Those are your business headlines. I'm Christine Lee.
A Chestermere High School student is heading to Austin, Texas this weekend to take part in the Future Business Leaders of America competition. Sharvi Chandale is 15 years old and won the right to attend after placing in the top 3 in her category through the Canadian National Leadership Conference. The grade 10 student wants to be a business leader one day and spent 2 hours a night researching for this competition. And Sharvi's doing it all on her own. She's not part of a club or a school group. She says she can't wait to compete in Austin and learn as much as she can during the 5-day event.
I'm really looking forward to networking and meeting people that are like-minded. I think that would be really great. I'm also really excited to compete in my competitive event. I've prepared so much. I'm super excited about that. And also, I just like being in that environment with all those corporate individuals. I'll learn those skills that I need for my future.
Sharvi and her mom leave for Austin Sunday morning. She's continuing to study as much as she can for the event, and she hopes to win in her age group. Classical music coming to a neighborhood near you. We have details about live music where you live and work. Stay with us. A new exhibit at Heritage Park celebrates the 100th anniversary of the Alberta Motor Association. A road well traveled is now part of Gasoline Alley. Each of 4 zones focuses on 25 years of the organization's existence. There are several artifacts you can touch and feel. The exhibit shows AMA's growth in tandem with Alberta's growth. When the AMA was established in 1926, Alberta's population was about 600,000. It's now about 5 million. Concerts are popping up all over Calgary this summer that are part of Piano Project YYC. The events are hosted by Honens, known for its international piano competitions. But this is a chance to bring music to where people work and live instead of just inside a concert hall. Here's Kevin Fleming.
From Vancouver and flew in for a 1-hour lunchtime performance in a downtown office tower. Amanda Tosoff is bringing these listeners a little jazz music.
I like to have lots of variety in my sets, so we've got some jazz standards from the American Songbook, we've got a little music from Brazil, we've got some vocal and some instrumental piano trio material, so I think there's a little bit of something for everyone.
Honens is hosting Piano Project YYC. It's the second year it's offered music to the community with a variety of performers.
We want to break down those barriers. We want to help people experience classical music as they are and realize that it connects us, it adds cultural vibrancy to our city, and they might discover that they really love something they didn't know anything about.
Smith says the public reaction to the pop-up concerts is positive and is something different to break up their workday at lunch.
I think being in spaces where people walk by, it's also an opportunity for people to realize that music, live music, should be a part of their everyday life and not just reserved for special occasions.
Jody Prosnick plays bass and says this group is a smaller version of an all-female group.
The O-Star Project is a sextet, sometimes a septet, so 6 or 7 people. So this is kind of a reduced version, a little intimate quartet version.
It's a different setting that many performers aren't used to, but Prosnick enjoys being up close to the audience.
People will be walking by and be like, wow, oh, what is this? And then they might hear something that feels really compelling. And so it's a chance to plant some seeds of interest in music that isn't sort of stereotypically what people are hearing all the time.
Piano Project YYC will host free concerts at various locations for the rest of the year. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Honens has invited many of its past international winners and contestants to perform over the lunch hour. We'll have more information about it on our website. We were just saying that'd be so nice to stumble across on your lunch hour downtown.
Maybe get them in the studio here while I'm doing the weather forecast.
Sure, a little background music while you tell us the bad news.
Yeah, exactly. That leads me directly into what we're going to talk about, because it is going to be a wet weekend out there. But for your weather window, brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors. Crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. We got this picture sent in by our super duper 6 o'clock producer, Pat, from this morning out at the Shaganappi Golf Course there. And what I love about this picture, obviously it's beautiful, but there's those ripply clouds there in the corner. Those are those mackerel clouds that I've talked about before, which are an indicator of the change in weather conditions. So that's what's going to happen this weekend. We're going to see some showers, even possible tonight, some instability on Saturday, but that real wet weather event is going to come on Sunday into Monday, Tara. So it'll drive down the temperatures on Sunday, and Monday a rainy one as well. And unfortunately, Canada Day a few days later, not looking too great at the moment.
Thank you, Gina. Thank you for your company tonight. For breaking news of the weekend, go to our website, ctvnewscalgary.ca.